He uses the tip of the knife to pick under his nails. Oh, just the tip, huh? Hello, and welcome to Ouroboros, Constricting Devotion. This is a horror Yandere visual novel in which you wake up in a room with a stranger who claims to be the love of your life. However, the longer you stay, it almost seems like he's just as much of a captive as you are. Let's get started. Your head is pounding. That's all you can focus on. It's entirely disorienting. The sound of a whirring fan slowly fills your ears. The tapping of a foot. Shallow breaths. You slowly open your eyes, struggling to adjust to the dimly lit space you find yourself in. I don't want to be that person already, even though I totally am that person. But he's hot. A person, seated on a chair just in front of you. What a blessing. You're finally awake, beautiful. You're pretty. Your eyes strain to settle in on their features. The hanging bulb behind them doing a dreadful job at letting you see. Sharp jaw, ragged dark locks, features almost sunken. If you didn't know any better, you'd think they're a ghost. Okay, well maybe joke's on you, I kinda like it like that. After all, I had an absolute blast in Homicipher. Who are you? My, how dreadful. Oh! The chair creaks as they lean forward. You've forgotten. My poor baby. The person finally comes into focus. The pounding in your head subsiding for the moment. Their green eyes feel like they're piercing your soul. The smirk on their face devilish, menacing. Well, we have all the time in the world. I'll make sure you remember me. Their hand comes towards your face. You try to pull away from the stranger's gesture, but you realize you're tied to the chair that you're seated in. They laugh as they caress your cheek. Look, hang on. Oh, wait. His eyes. They're like slit pupils. My, you're as feisty as the day we met. Their laughter continues as they stroke your cheek with their thumb. You don't remember your dear beloved boyfriend. It's Cadmus. Surely you wouldn't forget my dashing face, right? See, in a right world, I wouldn't forget your dashing face, but I'm pretty sure that I've never seen you before in my life. I remember you. You lie. You do. What was that? What was that? His hand falls back to his thigh. I would hope you wouldn't forget your lover's touch. He watches you calmly, pulling something from his pocket, the glint catching your eye. A knife. No, not a knife! There's a playfulness to the way that he holds it, like you were a stick you find walking a trail as a young child. Darling, don't look so afraid. I'll be honest, buddy, I do not trust you with a knife. You are hot, though. He doesn't seem the least bit concerned for the way this looks. I wouldn't be so bold as to cause the being of my affections harm, would I? Why did you take it out then? Yeah, why'd you whip it out? And by it, for once, I do not mean his peanuts. Wouldn't you, if you had a knife in your pocket? I mean, if the situation demanded for it, sure. He grins as he uses the tip of the knife to pick under his nails. Oh, just the tip, huh? Shut up, Yandere, you're about to die. Jesus. Cadmus's eyes trail up and down your figure. The way he looks at you, it unnerves you. Like being eaten alive by his eyes. Again, you try to move your limbs, but the ropes against you are tight. I mean, look, Cadmus, how about you let me out of here and I'll, show you what else is tight, and then we can both be on our way. You haven't lost feeling in them, which you hope to be a blessing rather than a curse. Now. We don't want you getting hurt. His eyes return to staring directly into yours. Why me? You're my darling dearest, of course. Being treated oh so well, don't you think? Now, be still. Everything suddenly goes out of focus. Your head is pounding again. The silence returns. If I get jump scared, you aren't sure how long it's been since you fell unconscious. Struggling to refocus, you notice Cadmus is still across from you, smiling. Good morning, little mouse. I was starting to worry you weren't going to wake up. You feel glad to see him. Do I? It's kind of reassuring for some reason. I wouldn't leave my darling behind. Oh, I'm simply charmed. I'm happy that you wouldn't abandon me. To be without you would be so devastating. You take a moment to get reoriented with the space. Due to the dim light, it's extremely hard to see if there's anything of note in this room. It feels like the edges of your vision are just pure darkness. Is it because your head is pounding? Why does your head hurt anyway? You feel a hand on your cheek. Is everything else that much more interesting than me? Did I do something wrong? The last thing you want is for him to be upset. For your safety, obviously. You don't know what he's capable of. You shake your head at his question, his face immediately brightens. I thought so. Good. His hand continues to linger on your face, his fingertips gently resting behind your ear. There's something calming about it. Maybe even a tad bit comforting, like it was meant to be. As he pulls his hand away, you realize you don't know much about him. What the hell? Let alone the circumstances you're both in. Perhaps he wouldn't mind some questions. What do you do when I'm sleeping? Watch over you, of course. I have to make sure you're safe and no one takes you from me. You don't cuddle me while I sleep? Cadmus stares, his expression unreadable. His fingers drum against the chair. You suppose he isn't going to answer that. Wouldn't that be something he'd want to answer? I guess there is much you don't understand. Cadmus stands from his seat, walking just out of your view. Is he going somewhere? What is he doing? Don't leave me. He plops himself down in the chair. If only for a moment. Silly mouse. I'm just stretching my legs. I'll be back shortly. He once again stands and sounds like he's stepping away. Beg him to stay. Cadmus stops, heading back to sit. Sure. If you're that concerned, I wasn't going to be long. I don't want to be alone. His expression is hard to read, but he stays where he is. You both sit and stare at each other in silence, other than the sounds of his fingers drumming idly against the chair. You're happy he didn't walk away from you. It would be extremely lonely without him sitting across from you. His deep green eyes are staring at you. The way his hair falls onto his face, how the light bulb backlights his beautiful features. Something is so wrong here. You can't help but feel like you need him right here. Whoa! As in we're gonna do it? I mean, okay, you'll be lonely without him. Oh, that way, okay. His sigh pulls you from your thoughts. Though he doesn't say anything. Everything okay, dear? He sits a bit straighter. Of course, of course. There's just so much to think about, darling. You can't help but be curious. Like what? Me? Ooh, I'm bold. Only you are ever on my mind. Heh. Cadmus falls silent again. For some reason, you feel annoyed. Watching his gaze drift away annoys you even more. Yeah, aren't you enough to hold his attention? Yeah, Cadmus, like you said earlier, is everywhere else much more interesting than I am, huh? You can't even tell where all these emotions are coming from. You need his attention. Where are you looking? His head snaps back at you. You suppose your voice was a bit stern. It wasn't your intention. No idea, don't worry. I'm simply just so overwhelmed by you. Your heart swells, his words so sickening and sweet. He gently rubs his thumb against your cheek. I don't know what you're so worried about, I'm right here. Kiss his palm. His hand twitches when your lips touch them. What are you? His reaction is so cute. Oh, I am cooked in the brain. You can't help but chuckle at him. Cadmus slowly pulls his hand away. I didn't upset you, did I? No, certainly not. How could the lovely being of my affections ever upset me? What silly thoughts you have. His little pet name for you. He's so sweet. He runs his fingers through his hair. Every movement captures your eyes. He's so pretty. My dear, I really do need to stretch my legs for the moment. Do you? You can't help but feel upset and not twisting in your heart. I really won't be long, I promise. He gently pats your head before walking off. Hurry back. You lean towards his direction, the ropes tightly pulling against you as his footsteps drip away. Now that he's gone, everything feels empty. He'll be back though. He has nowhere to go. Cadmus will be right back with you. Every second that ticks by fills you with dread. Even though you can still hear his footsteps, you can't help but miss him. You catch a glimpse of him at the other side of the room, though he disappears just as quickly as you caught him. Oh, how you miss him. You feel like you're gonna die without him. You desperately need him back. You stare longingly at him as he finally returns to the chair. I missed you. You're so excited as he returns. He seems tense when you speak. Yes, I missed you as well. There's a long silence as you watch him. His beautiful sharp features accentuated as he glances off to the side. Look, Cadmus, if you're not prepared to dedicate your life to me, maybe you shouldn't have kidnapped me then. You can't help but love looking at him. He's so beautiful, the being of your affections. Look, dear, I have to go find something. Is that the lover's excuse for going to get milk? Yes, there's something I thought of. A gift. Just for you. Just for me. You can barely even contain your glee at the thought, tugging on the ropes to get closer to him. Just for you, but you'll have to be patient. So make sure you wait for me. Of course. You hear his footsteps fade away. You hear the door from the other side of the room, and it promptly shuts. Cadmus is bringing you a gift. He's getting you a present. You've been so good, and you love him so much. Of course you deserve a gift. He'll be back any minute. He always is. You know whatever he's getting is going to be so lovely. A gift for his precious little mouse. Your head starts to hurt. Cadmus still isn't back yet. You mustn't fall asleep. He'll be here any moment. You just know it. He's always here. Always. Yeah. By the time I get back, they'll be asleep again. Another round will begin. What round? What's going on? Care? Bad ending. Wait, what? Let's start again. Your head is pounding. That's all you can focus on. It's entirely disorienting. The sound of a whirring fan slowly fills your ears. A man seated on a chair just in front of you. You have a clear head now, my love. We're time looping. Wait, when we finish one round, We unlock more dialogue. That's so cool. You know, he doesn't seem in a rush to comment. Your eyes strain to settle on his features, the hanging bulb behind him doing a dreadful job at letting you see. Sharp jaw, ragged dark locks, features almost sunken. You honestly wish he was a ghost. Oh my god, where am I? You can't tell. The chair creaks as he adjusts his legs. My poor, poor baby. The man finally comes into focus, the pounding in your head subsiding for the moment. His devilish green eyes watch you closely, the smirk on his face devilish knowing. Well, we have all the time in the world. I'll make sure you remember me. His hand comes towards your face. You don't move. You try to pull away again, or you don't. This is so cool. I love when stuff loops like this. That's incredible. I mean, I suppose because, like, the visual novel itself is called Ouroboros. And, you know, Ouroboros meaning, like, you know, death, renewal, infinite return. You don't move. You know it's no use glaring at him. He laughs as he caresses your cheek. My, you're as feisty as the day we met. His laughter continues as he strokes your cheek. You don't remember your dear beloved boyfriend. It's Cadmus. Surely you wouldn't forget my dashing face, right? I remember you. You lie. And that's all you remember. Perfect. His hand falls back to his thigh. I would hope you wouldn't forget your lover's touch. He watches you calmly, pulling something from his pocket, the glint catching your eye. A knife. There's a playfulness to the way he holds it, like you would a stick. You find, walking a trail as a young child. Darling, don't look so afraid. He doesn't seem the least bit concerned for the way this looks. I wouldn't be so bold as to cause the being of my affections harm, would I? You tied me to a chair. You asked me to. Don't you remember? He tilts his head, playing with the blade in his hand. I feel like I might not be as innocent as I thought I was. Does your head hurt? I hope you're alright, my love. Cadmus's eyes trail up and down your figure. The way he looks at you, it unnerves you. Like being eaten alive by his eyes. You know, trying to move is entirely worthless. It pisses you off. Now. We don't want you getting hurt. His eyes return to staring directly into yours. What about you? Me? Oh, how sweet. I promise you, I know my way around a knife. Now, be still. Alright, and then we fall asleep. Your head is pounding again. The silence returns. You aren't sure how long it's been since you fell unconscious. Feeling slightly off kilter, struggling to refocus, you notice Cadmus is still across from you, smiling. Good morning, little mouse. I was starting to worry you weren't going to wake up. You feel glad to see him. It's kind of reassuring for some reason. I'll always wake to you. And I you, dear. You take the moment to get reoriented with the space. Due to the dim light, it's extremely hard to see if there's anything of note in this room. It feels like the edges of your vision are just pure darkness. Is it because your head is pounding? Why does your head hurt anyway? You feel a hand on your cheek. Is everything else that much more interesting than me? Did I do something wrong? You shake your hand firmly. And he smiles, relaxed by your prompt response. Good. You aren't uncomfortable, are you? Are the ropes bothering you? Though you want to question his sudden concern, it's best not to. So you'll untie me. Untie you? And lose you again? Nonsense, my dear. He returns to his seat. Why do you need to be anywhere else? I can take care of you right here. Ooh, kinky. But what if I want to hold you? I'm already holding you, dear. There's no need to return the favor. You are? You suppose he doesn't mean holding you literally. The thought makes you immensely uncomfortable. You're so silly, but thoughtful. I am. I have been told that I'm silly and thoughtful. And also a bit of a perv. There's a jitter in your vision. Your head is pounding. Man, why am I constantly being pounded in the head and not pounded somewhere else? Come on, man. The whole room feels like it's on stilts and shaking. But you know you aren't moving. Cadmus vanishes from your view. Wait, what? You feel nauseous. Like something is worming its way to you. Trying to move out of the ropes is futile, you know this. You can't calm yourself down. You feel a lingering sensation against your neck. Is it the bite? It was like, yeah, this one. Wait, it's like gone from the history. But there was a line that said like, is it the bite? Like a snake squirming against your skin. It's so hard to breathe. You struggle to even focus. He's holding your... It said he's holding your neck. Wait, guys, I promise I'm not delusional. Where did he go? He's right there. Why the face, darling? This is so cool. He seems rather calm, sitting in his seat as though he never moved. Does something feel weird? Weird? Weird how? Am I not doing good enough taking care of you? It almost irritates you, his act of concern. You find it hard to respond. Or rather, you have no reason to respond. The silence carries for longer than it should. Clearly he was waiting for you to verbalize a response. But why the hell should you? I'm sorry. You feel his hand rest on your cheek. I'll do better, I promise. I'm gonna keep you safe and comfortable. You almost want to ask if he's keeping you safe from him. He pulls his hand away, drumming his fingers against the chair, leaving you to wonder what the best course of action is. You know you could try freeing yourself, perhaps your hand, but you don't know where his knife is. Glancing at his legs, it's hard to see. The room is too dark to get a good look as to where his pockets might be. Even if you manage to leave the ropes, get his knife, who knows what else he has on him. That's not to mention, you don't even know where the exit is. It's hard to understand the situation you're even in. It's hard to understand, but I'm very intrigued. Perhaps he wouldn't mind some questions. Whatever things come to mind should work. Do you know where we are? He looks caught off guard by the question. Struggling to put his emotions in check, you assume. Well, of course I do. I brought you here. This place is mine. Why would we be somewhere I didn't know? He's probably just trying to pull your leg. Cadmus definitely knows something that you don't. Such a curious little mouse. I'm appreciative of your curiosity. Yes, I am very curious. Let me explore the place, including inside your pants. He watches you closely, seemingly occupied by you, fidgeting in his chair a bit. It's hard to focus on anything. Your mind feels so fuzzy. Why are you here? Is he just taunting you? Darling, are you worried about me? You seem so concerned. You have no idea how he got that from anything you've done. I guess asking him a question did do something. You suppose it might work just to play along with him. I'm sorry you're doing so much. He smiles timidly, seemingly happy at your apology. Aren't you just the sweetest? I'll keep going knowing I have your support. He's so sappy, as he is seemingly lost in thought about what to do to help you feel better. It gives you time to think. You focus on the ropes surrounding you. There seems to be a loose spot near your hand. It would be best to think up of a game plan. You could rid yourself of the situation. Get out of here and leave it all behind. You just have to get out of the rope, grab his knife, end it all. Be free. It'll be so easy. You just barely managed to wrangle yourself free from the ropes. Wait, hold on. He's crying. Wait, he's crying. Cadmus looks horrified as you reach for his knife. Absolutely not. You scream out, driving the knife into him. You stab him a few times, his screaming echoing in the room. You're both covered in blood. It's horrifying, but you feel so in control. Your head starts pounding, causing you to forcibly shut your eyes. It hurts so bad. Everything feels like it's moving and shaking. When you open them, everything looks different. As your eyes focus, Cadmus sits limply in a chair in front of you. What is going on? Wait, this is so cool. Ropes hold him there. He's against the wall you just were. He opens his eyes and looks horrified. Why did you let it in? Demonic possession? Amnesia. Good ending? Are we possessed? I think we're possessed. And that's why he's tied us up. Okay, I started a new run and he says, I do hope you've learned not to listen to your demons. Something is going on. I want to find out so badly. Right, let's note down that other ending because there's 8 endings in total. What? What? He chuckles, clearly amused by your question. Did I say something strange? Let's not dwell on it. Your eyes strain to settle on his features. The hanging bulb behind him doing a dreadful job at letting you see. Sharp jaw, ragged dark looks, features almost sunken. You honestly wish he was a ghost. Again. This is new. He just laughs. The man finally comes into focus. The pounding in your head subsiding for the moment. His green eyes watch you closely. The smirk on his face devilish, knowing, well, we have all the time in the world. I'll make sure you remember me. His hand comes towards your face. You try to pull away again. Unfortunately for you, you are still tied to the chair you're seated in. He laughs as he caresses your cheek. My, you're as feisty as the day we met. His laughter continues as he strokes your cheek with his thumb. And then he asks if we remember him. And this time we say, I remember you. Do you now? His nails dig into your cheek as he leans closer. Isn't that just? I'm so glad, love. He tucks your hair behind your ear, eyes staring daggers into you. I'd be broken up if you ever forgot me. He watches you calmly, pulling something from his pocket, the glint catching your eye. A knife. Do we get different dialogue? Ah, here we go. You're not gonna use it again, are you? What is going on? His smile is unnaturally wide, holding the knife to your throat. What is happening? I'm actually getting a little bit scared now. I'm feeling a bit like a chicken. Wouldn't you like to find out? Again? Why, I never dream of doing it once, let alone multiple times, my love. Cadmus's eyes trail up and down your figure. The way he looks at you, it unnerves you. like being eaten alive by his eyes. You know trying to move is entirely worthless. It pisses you off. Now, we don't want you getting hurt. His eyes return to staring directly into yours. Get this over with. Such impatience. We will have... I didn't see that line. I don't think it shows up in the log either. No, it doesn't. It's so cool that they hide certain lines from the log. Don't rush me, darling, but I'll forgive you for it. Now, be still. Everything suddenly goes out of focus. Your head is pounding again. The silence returns. I'm really scared I'm gonna get jump scared. Inhaling a sharp breath, you open your eyes. He still has the knife this time. Canma sits across from you like he always has. No tricks this time. Thank goodness for that. The light behind him catches on the knife he holds in his hand. Nice of you to wake up. Took your lesson last time. Stay silent. He sighs, seemingly unimpressed. Hello, can I help you? Hi. He sighs, seemingly unimpressed. Whatever. What the hell does he mean? He plays with the knife. It seems to have vague remnants of blood, though it's hard to see. You wonder if it's yours, if it's his, or perhaps both. Canvas haphazardly puts the knife back into his pocket and wipes his fingers on your cheek. You can feel something wet and cold as he does so. How beautiful. You'd make such a lovely painting. It's hard to tell if he's entirely serious or speaking his usual nonsense. In a way, it wasn't important one way or the other. His nails dig into your cheek suddenly. Bite his fingers. You tilt your head slightly and chomp on one of his fingers. Ow! You should be glad you're in those damn ropes. There's a jitter in your vision and your head is pounding. The whole room feels like it's on stilts and shaking, but you know you aren't moving. Canvas vanishes from your view. You feel nauseous. Trying to move out of the ropes is futile, you know this. You feel a lingering sensation against your neck, like a snake squirming against your skin. You struggle to focus. Where did he go? Why the face, darling? He sat in his chair as though he never moved. We quite genuinely have all the time in the universe. I think that's so true as well, because we just keep reincarnating into the same loop. He sighs, bored out of his mind. You're still struggling with whatever sensation just came over you. His eyes watch you, a lingering sense of curiosity. It quickly vanishes. You could at least be more entertaining. So still. You stay still. Canvas frowns, pursing his lips. Disappointing but unsurprising, dear. He twitches. Your eyes catch... I saw the knife for a little bit. His hand runs through his hair, looking a bit unamused. I'm so intrigued by this. Doesn't matter. Maybe this would be more interesting. If you explain things, you eye him cautiously, as much as you want answers as to what the hell's going on. You also don't want to put yourself in immediate danger. What do you think is happening here then? Something I don't understand. Have you bothered trying to understand it? What do you think I'm trying to do, smartass? You are quite different than some other times, I'll give you that. Other times? What other times? You feel even more lost than you were before. He doesn't seem in any rush to respond, fidgeting in his seat. Hello? Earth to Canvas. He holds his finger up to you, looking a bit annoyed. Though perhaps he's worried. Your head feels weird. The room's seeming to darken, and you aren't entirely sure what the sensation is. A thought pops into your head. You took matters into your own hands, and you killed him. It was terrifying, and yet it made you feel so much bigger than you were. Like you both switched places. A memory that isn't yours, but you can't help but feel like it is. That moment happened to you. But how is that even possible? There it is. The room comes back into focus. Canvas looks almost sad, but relieved. You do realize it. We've been here before. Precisely, my dear. Did we kill him? And now we're stuck in a kind of like limbo? Somehow, someway, here we are. But how? You must understand something if you realized it before me. I wish I could say I do, but not really. Unfortunately. It would take far too much time for the two of us to catch up in knowledge and see what page we're on. How much is real? Fake? Is there a truth? Have you just been playing me with the whole being of my affections bit? Yikes. A bit. I wasn't lying. It's not important. I'm gonna ignore the fact that you think I've been joking. He takes a second to adjust himself in his seat before he speaks again. We're on a bit of a timer. We can only be so entertaining. Are you implying some... Shh. What is going on? I can't even be pervy anymore. I'm just scared. Canvas immediately closes the distance between you, holding his finger to your lips. He looks worried and scared. Don't. We're just having a normal conversation. There's someone else. You eye him, a bit freaked out by his sudden movement, but you nod at him. He seems to relax, looking relieved. So what do we do then? Ideas? Plans? Anything? Wish I could say I have any, but I don't. He sinks a bit into his seat. It's a bit difficult. Given the space, I'm not entirely sure we're exactly in a real location. He pulls himself up as you try to process what he said. I mean, it's already weird enough to be seemingly stuck in a loop, but not in a real place. That's pushing the boundaries of your understanding. Trust me, I barely understand it myself. He is carefully watching the look on your face as he speaks. I'm just barely able to keep my wits each time. I think it comes with the territory. Being in here however long we have, or... Cadmus looks upset. Not meeting your eyes anymore. Clearly he's reluctant to give you information, though it's hard to understand why. Without talking about the bigger picture, dancing around topics like this, how are you supposed to get this, regardless of everything? He returns his gaze to you, trying to be comforting. I don't know what other things you might have been through, but I'll get us out of here. He fidgets in his seat, trying his best to smile. You mean so much to me. I have to do my best. I don't know if I should trust him. For all we know, he could be pretending that there's a third person, or a third entity. Why can't I help? If we're both in this, shouldn't we be both trying? He looks conflicted about your question. I don't think you have that luxury. Or I guess the curse of being able to try. What do you mean? Did you realize any other time but that we're vaguely repeating things? You didn't, really. I mean, maybe me in game hasn't, but me sitting here IRL, yeah. Something always felt a bit weird, but it was never something you could truly place. If you only really realized now, would there be another chance to notice? How could you help if you couldn't remember? I don't mean to make you feel bad, love. I would be happy to have your help, I just don't know if it's possible. So what do we do now? He seems to carefully consider the question, fidgeting in his seat. It's not like there's much you can do, you're tied to the chair. Untying you is probably out of the question. He must have a reason for it. You don't fully understand how time passes here either. Well, I could at least try explaining a bit of what I know. I thought you were worried about the amount of time we have and even talking about anything. I think it's worth a risk. Suspicious? I'll have to dance around a few things, so I'm sorry about that. Whatever you can give me. Maybe I'll be able to help or at least retain something. He looks concerned at that. You aren't sure if it's because he knows you won't remember, or he isn't sure you can help. You can't help but feel a bit bad. What is he shouldering, all on his own? This entire situation is so bizarre. Most people would be afraid of the guy who kidnapped them. There's more to this place than even I understand. I've been outside, all about 4 times. It's just an inescapably endless field, which is why I think we aren't exactly in a tangible place. This place is impossible. That sounds horrifying. Just watching the field constantly extending out before you, no end in sight. It's like an infection. What is? The field? No, I really don't know how much I can say. Just say it. It's better to speak it, right? I have a feeling we're in so much trouble. You don't totally understand where this is coming from. It'll be fine, right? Cadmus still hesitates. What is it? Why would he tell you what it is? It's an it. Is it? That's scary. Stop. He suddenly grasps your shoulders. Stop it. Clear your mind, please. What? Stop thinking. You don't totally understand why, or even how he knows where your mind is. It's probably better to just focus on him. You and Cadmus are in this room. He is worried about you. He relaxes and pulls away from you again. This is intense. There's more than us here. He mumbles as he pulls himself together. I can't do much about that. God, I wish I could, because of how impossible this place is. I suppose you could say that. There's a silence that is put between you both. You aren't entirely sure what to say. Oh my god, what is going on? No, we can't be out of time. Shit. What's wrong? Cadmus? You call for him, but he's still struggling, mumbling to himself. What happened? What the hell is going on? He pulls himself into the chair again, his hand pulling the knife from his pocket. Cadmus? I don't think that's Cadmus anymore. What are you doing? I thought we had stuff to talk about. He doesn't say anything, tears falling down his cheeks. Cadmus, what's going on? He approaches you, cutting you free from the ropes. Time is up, little mouse. He sounds different. The knife comes for your throat. Your hands clasp his, trying to keep the knife away from you. Please, Cadmus, snap out of it. Despite your pleading, you know in your heart it isn't reaching him. He's not the one in front of you now. I was right about possession. With his free hand, he pulls your hands away, slicing at your neck. Everything goes dark in an instant. There has to be an escape. Cadmus. Darling, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Chaos. We got the chaos ending? Holy crap. Alright, I'm gonna keep going. Sitting to refocus again, you notice Cadmus is no longer sitting in front of you. What the hell did that man do to you? Were you drugged? Have you been drugged? Will you die here? Uncertainty invades your mind. Listen for him. It's entirely too quiet here. Cadmus must be somewhere. The idea of your captor leaving you entirely to your own devices seems unlikely. My little mouse is awake. You just apparated out of nowhere. His voice startles you straight. He's sitting in the chair in front of you as if he never left. You missed me. I'm sure you did. I missed you. Oh yeah, I'm sure you missed me as well. His fingers excitedly drum his thighs as he speaks. Not that there's anyone else here. It's just you and me. We both know that is not true. All of our love, captured in a single place. Isn't that divine? Cadmus stands from the chair leaning close to you. His eyes search you hungrily, tongue dancing across his lips. You truly are the most beautiful being for my affections. His whispering breath dances across your cheeks. We have all the time in the world to fawn over each other. Stay silent. You both stare at each other. I'm so happy. He checks the rope binding you before taking a seat. I suppose I should get you something to drink. His hand reaches for your face. Even though you try to pull back from him, it's entirely in vain. His index finger captures your chin, thumb gently rubbing your bottom lip. Your lips are dry. I'll fix this, darling. Are you gonna lick my lips? Oh, that's boring. He starts moving away, but his hand on your chin is the last thing to leave your vision. Footsteps echoing throughout the space, not as much as you expected it would. The room must be much smaller than it appears. The minimal light is doing wonders to cause you panic over the sheer scale of the darkness surrounding you. There's an itching at the back of your neck and you can't shake it. The feeling of unease envelops you. You're trapped. How did you get here? Can you get out? Will anyone miss you? The itchy feeling is getting so much worse. It's so itchy. I didn't get to see. It's where the rope burns, you assume. You hear running water off in the corner. While he's not around, you decide to reassess the ropes. There's a loose spot near your right hand. Alright, this time we're going to keep our hand there. Next time we're going to try and wiggle free. It'll be a good thing to know you can free your hand in a pinch. You're sure if you free it now, he might notice it. Cadmus promptly returns. Cupped in his hands is a chipped teacup lacking a handle. Your drink of water, my beloved. He holds the cup out to you. Ah, of course you can't actually drink it yourself. Yeah, you gonna take sips and feed me, mouth to mouth like a bird? Let me help you. He brings the cup to your lips. Oh man, what if he poisoned the water? Is the cup even full of water? What in the world is he giving you? You try to keep your lips shut. You can drink it. You're thirsty. He's trying to kill you. He's trying to help you. The text, play, and manipulation is so good. You happily drink the water. It feels so nice. It's like you haven't had anything to drink in so long. Good little mouse. Much better, right? He pulls the cup away from your lips. You follow the cup, desperately wanting more. He gently places his hand on your chin, wiping your lips with his thumb, seeming amused by you. I'll be faster next time, I promise. Cadmus sets the cup down on the floor, immediately going back to staring at you. His eyes feel like they're reading every minute detail about you. You can only wonder what he's able to decipher from you. His gaze is illegible. Why so scared? He's eyeing you curiously, as if he cannot begin to comprehend what you might be feeling. Am I really oh so frightening? I couldn't hurt a fly. You aren't scary. I'm not. Good. He leans back into his seat, his eyes still trained on you. I'd be worried if you were. We are partners after all. Communication is very important, darling. You can't tell if he added that last part in as a joke, given you both haven't spoken very much since you arrived. Given how cloudy your head is, you aren't exactly sure when it was that got you here. A stark reminder of how trapped up in his lies you are. Well, there must be something I can do to quell any possible concerns you might have. His fingers drum against the chair as he ponders. Just as you go to speak, he presses a finger against your lips. Those ropes must stay. It's to keep you safe. You almost want to ask if he's keeping you safe from him, but given how sharp he is about things, it's best you don't tempt the devil. This line, I don't think this line is here just as a saying. I think it might be literal. He pulls his hand away, continuing to drum against the chair. It's hard to figure out what might be the best thing to do in this situation. You could try and strike up a conversation, but clearly he's lost in thought. If anything, trying to talk to him might upset him, or make him way too happy that you care. You could free your hand if you wanted, though you don't know what he might do. If he pulls out his knife before you can grab it, you'd be in deep shit. It's hard to see his legs, given that he's wearing black pants. You can roughly guess where his pockets might be. Is that a knife in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? What side did he pull the knife from again? Though, even if you get out of the ropes and get the knife, then what? Sure, you can barely see the door off to the right side of the room. What if it's fake? Maybe it doesn't even lead out. How can you be sure it's the exit? What do you prefer, rain or shine? What? Which do you prefer? You can't even begin to comprehend what brought this question on. Shine? It's bright and warm and hard to enjoy a day that rains when it's so gloomy. I suppose so. Which do you prefer? The rain. It's relaxing. You find a good book, sit in a nice chair, Let the day drift away, to each their own. He nods and goes back to staring off. You're not entirely sure how this relates to wanting to quell your concerns. It was probably just some weird side tangent on his part. Cadmus suddenly stands, startling you. I'll be right back, my love. Once again wandering off somewhere, scooping the cup off the ground as he makes his way out of sight. What's in the water? You can only wish he'd be out of mind. Wait, what the hell? What the hell was that? Your head hurts so much. What was even in that drink anyway? That's not important, at least not right now. The thing is, the devs has also locked the ability to scroll back and see things again, which I actually appreciate because I think it's thematically really important for this. But at the same time, I want to know what he said. Trying to figure out what he's up to is more pressing. Straining to listen to whatever odd sounds he can. There's nothing. You can't hear a single thing. There's no running water, no footsteps, no sound of a door, not even breathing. The room is completely silent. Honestly, maybe you should free your hand now. Who knows what in the world Cadmus is planning? Leave it be. As tempting as it is, you have no idea what he's doing right now. You can always try pulling it free later. Taking this opportunity to do it now might end terribly. You aren't sure how long you're stuck in the silence. With how disorienting this space is, could be mere seconds or it could be hours. It almost makes you miss him. Miss him? There's a weird thought. Suddenly the sound of footsteps. He's coming back. It's almost reassuring. Are you worrying about him? That's complete nonsense. You really need to get out of here. You need to get out of here. There you are. He takes his place back in front of you. Oh, darling, you look so sad. I'm sorry for being gone for so long. Did you look sad? He must be toying with you. There's no way you feel that way about him. Unfortunately, as you can see, I return empty-handed. He seems genuinely disappointed at this fact. My idea. Despite it being so brilliant, I don't have what I'm looking for anymore. Anymore? Either way, I have you. No need for any other fanciful things. My love is right here. Cadmus glances away, stretching his neck, before staring at you once again. He seems to have no interest in going anywhere. Now might be your chance. Now! You pull your hand free. The sudden motion shifting the ropes, allowing you more movement than you expected. For a guy so proud of these stupid things, he sure didn't do that well tying you. Cadmus is shocked, trying to speak but his words failing him. Reaching for one of his pockets, you manage to find the knife. Wait! He sounds genuinely scared. You cut yourself free from the ropes, holding the knife towards him. The exit. Where is it? You command his attention despite the fact that your voice is shaking. He simply points off to the side. You book it without looking back. It's a short struggle to find the knob in the darkness. Knob. Shut up, Yandere, you're running for your life, god damn it. At the second your hand finds purchase, you keep moving. Stopping now would be a horrible mistake. Cadmus is going to find you. He's definitely going to come after you once the shock wears off. You cannot allow yourself to slow down, even for a second. There's light at the end of this corridor. A completely welcome sight to behold. Reaching outside, you find yourself in a field. An endless field of grass. It's like the Teletubby set. Is this place a bunker? In the middle of nowhere? Now's not the time to wonder that. Shaking the thought from your mind, you continue to run. Civilization must be close, you just know it. Is this grass truly never ending? You haven't seen a road, a sign, a vehicle, or even a person. How long have you been running? Your throat is burning. It's so hard to breathe. You can't stop. You know you can't. He's going to find you. Cadmus must be right behind you. He's got to be. Your foot catches on itself, tumbling to the ground. Your head is pounding. Again with the pounding in the head, but not somewhere else, like my butt. Sometimes a girl just wants to be pounded by Cadmus, you know? You can't breathe anymore. Someone will find you. You'll be home soon. You're sure of it. Home is just around the corner. Back so soon, love. I wonder how long you'll be resting for this time. Fear. Good ending? We got the fear ending. Alright, let's start a new run. Thought you could escape me, little mouse. It's so cool how he knows what's happened. And how it like loops so well. Let's get back onto the fear route. So you'll untie me, untie you, and lose you again. Nonsense, my dear. He returns to his seat, acting in mock concern. Why do you need to be anywhere else? I can take care of you right here. But what if I need to sleep? The ropes aren't that tight, are they? Cadmus tugs at them, tilting his head curiously. Cadmus, come on, let me go. I want to go home. Seems just fine to me. I don't know what you're so concerned about. I suppose I should get you something to drink. His hand reaches for your face. Even though you try to pull back from him, it's entirely in vain. His index finger captures your chin, thumb gently rubbing your bottom lip. Your lips are dry. I'll fix this, darling. Alright, then he gets us some water. And this time, while he's gone, we're gonna wriggle to try and free our hand. You shouldn't take chances. You managed to free your hand. Of course, keeping it concealed within the ropes. The last thing you need is him realizing you've done this. Your drink of water, my beloved. He holds the cup out towards you. Okay, then he gives us the water, and Cadmus tosses the cup aside. The porcelain shattering to pieces pierces your ears. Why would he do that? Your muscles tense up at the sound. Don't worry about that, my love. Cups are easy to replace. But you... He places his hand against your cheek, his grin wide as he intently stares at you. My beautiful dear, you are irreplaceable. Letting it linger there without him talking, you can pay attention to the way it feels. His hand is cold. Maybe he has bad blood flow. His entire hand feels like ice against your face. You're so lovely to look at. His hand finally releases your cheek. I want to stay with you forever. He chuckles, amused at his own statement. Why so scared? He's eyeing you curiously, as if he cannot begin to comprehend what you might be feeling. Am I really so frightening? I couldn't hurt a fly. You're frightening. He cocks his head curiously, lingering close to you. How could I be? You always told me you adored my smile, darling. He pouts, clearly a bit upset, doing what you can only assume to be puppy eyes at you. I'm a well-behaved young man. I promise. With a grin, he proceeds to lean back away from you, giving you back your precious breathing room. Much needed breathing room. Of course. That's what we're gonna do. He drums his fingers against the chair, lost in his own thoughts. Given that he seems a bit distracted, now might be your chance. You could grab his knife and run, right? Try to grab the knife. With your hand free, you try and reach for his pockets. Your arm snags. Shit. His attention snaps to you immediately, grabbing your wrist. Nails digging into your skin so hard it starts to bleed. Brandishing his knife, he slices through the ropes with ease, just like he will your flesh. You're horrified at what's coming for you. Cadmus's hand firmly grasps your neck, lifting you from the chair with ease. Ooh, that's kinda hot. Yay! Not giving you even a second to react to being free from the winding ropes. I've done all this to protect you. He sounds sad. Why? Can't you see that I love you? He gasps. He drives the knife into your side. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Cadmus keeps incessantly repeating the phrase with each stab, blood gushing from your stomach. Your mind is clouded. You're going to die here. God, you're going to die here. You are dying here. His voice begins to fade, along with your vision. It's over. Why did it have to be like this? I just want to protect you. Believe in me, please. Fear. Bad ending. My god. Alright, let's start again. I'm interested to see what he's gonna say this time. I do hope you learned your lesson. You're safer with me, darling. That is so interesting. Everything is a bit familiar in a weird way. As his hand pulls away, you realize there's much you still don't understand. Yet you know you can't ask what you actually want. But there are some that wouldn't hurt. Questions about him. Am I your first? I've only ever had eyes for you, dear. Why would I need anyone else? You're perfect for me. What about me? I'm your first, aren't I? Yes. Lucky me then. Have eyes for me and only me, darling. You can't help but smile a bit at how excited he is. That you quickly come back to your senses. Happy that he's giddy over someone he's kidnapped. Cadmus stands from his seat, walking just out of your view. Is he going somewhere? What is he doing? Where are you going? He laughs, placing his hand on your head. I'm just stretching my legs. No need to panic. I'm just gonna walk to the room. I'll be quick. He starts to walk, his footsteps filling your ears. Him not being directly across from you gives you a moment to breathe. In a weird way, still being able to hear his footsteps is comforting. Finding your captor. Comforting. How strange. You are no closer to understanding what his goal is, but even still, you are safe in some unexplainable way. He's looking after you. He isn't hurting you. Not yet he isn't. He cares for you. He loves you. You can vaguely make out Cadmus's presence on the other side of the room, but you can't see him. The feeling of his presence fades back into the darkness just as quickly as it was felt. Trying to comprehend all this hurts your head. The pounding sensation returns. He hasn't tried to hurt you, the ropes aren't even tight. So why does your head hurt so much? It feels like something eating away at you. Hey, darling. Hey, over here. He suddenly comes into view across from you, pulling your focus from the pain. There we are. It's okay, little mouse. I'm right here. He eyes you carefully, that weird sensation disappearing again. You watch as his eyes dance across your face, his expression hard to discern. There's sweat on his brow. Did he run to you? Good. You're okay. Told you I wouldn't be long, right? He quickly wipes his forehead, eyes focusing back on yours, smiling lightly. Does he know something that you don't? Yes? How did he even know something was wrong? It's so hard to even see in here. You didn't even know where he was. How did you know? Cadmus's smile slips away, brows knitting together. Did you say something wrong? His hand reaches out to you and covers your eyes. Shh. A silence stretches between you two. You can feel his hand quivering against your eyes. If I ask you to believe me, will you? Yes. He takes his hand away. His expression is difficult to understand. You're so good to me. You deserve so much better. It said you deserve so much better, and now it says, I'm happy to have you here, little mouse. You could have sworn you heard something else. You stare at him, trying to remember what he said before. I have a sudden thought. I think whatever is possessing either Cadmus or controlling the space that we're in is taking his words and twisting them and changing them. So like Cadmus actually is just as much of a hostage as we are. You know he said something else, but your mind is entirely blank, like there's a gap. You're so sure if you focus hard enough. Pay attention. You're immediately pulled from your thoughts, from his harsh tone. Drifting off is dangerous. You aren't entirely sure you understand, but you want to believe him. You're nice. Cadmus smiles, seeming a bit surprised at your comment. I wouldn't be anything else to you, my love. I want to keep you safe. You keep mentioning that. Safe from what exactly? I can't explain it. Can't? Well, you won't. You said you believed me, didn't you? Believe me. If I could, I would, darling. He seems genuinely upset about lacking answers. You nod at him, and he leans back in his seat. I have about just as much understanding as you, I think. I don't know what I can and can't say. You're immediately confused when he says that. Before you get the chance to respond, your head, why does it hurt so bad? What the hell? I'll make sure you stay safe. You're so precious to me, nothing will harm you, darling, except for you, right? His hand comes up to your cheek. His demeanor is entirely different. You feel weirdly disoriented. Did something happen just now? Ask if he noticed anything. Noticed what? I don't think anything odd happened. It's just us here. No, it's not. He runs his thumb along your cheek, 2 swift motions. You look at him a bit confused. He does it again. A why? As in yes. He did notice something, but he can't acknowledge it aloud. You both lock eyes. He simply smiles, pulling his hand away. Oh no, we're both trapped here. Even though you want to press further, you can tell from that it'd be hard to. There's much else for us to discuss. Like all the things that make you perfect and so charming. Just simply everything. You feel a bit nervous at that. Does he really think so much of you? Is this some kind of ploy? He laughs, presumably at whatever face you're making, though his expression softens. Come now, no need for that face. Or, am I being too much? You are the being of my affections after all. Is that so hard to believe? He calmly stays in close proximity to you unfazed. Or, do you not like me? You can be honest. I do like you. His face brightens immediately, betraying his rough demeanor. I could die. Right now. I wouldn't though. I couldn't be without you, now that I have you. His dramatics catch you off guard, causing you to crack a smile. Cadmus laughs, enjoying this little moment. I am sorry though. The ropes. They're for your safety. I wish I could take them off. I mean, I wish you could take something off, if you know what I mean. Is it really that bad? Whatever it is. He simply nods. Have you... He nods again, the look in his eyes too hard to read. You suppose it makes sense. This isn't your first time here. How many things has he tried at this point? It's better not to question. But I will protect you. I do mean that. With every fiber of my being. You have no reason to doubt him on that. All you can both really do is trust that he can. You and Cadmus spend your time in relative comfort. I'm glad we can just be. It's something I missed, just existing for the sake of it. Can you normally not? That's hard to explain. There's a hesitancy, one you become quite familiar with. Topics that tend to be avoided, words that don't linger. A taste of something different. I can teach you something. That's what we can do today. He holds his hand near your right, using his other hand to slide the ropes a bit. You have a bit more room to move. Cadmus taps you on your hand with his finger twice, distinctly separated taps. What are you doing? Teaching you, of course. You know what Morse code is. Oh! You're not teaching me that, are you? Isn't that complicated? He laughs, shaking his head. He taps on your hand once. Much simpler. Though I suppose that makes it harder, doesn't it? It limits communication? He nods, tapping your hand twice. Oh, twice is yes, once is no. He's teaching you without speaking. What a smart cookie. His eyes twinkle, staring at you with the utmost affection. We'll make others, I'm sure. Do you have one? What do you mean we'll make others, I'm sure? Is he gonna get me pregnant? As you ponder, he places your finger on top of his palm. Tap twice, with 2 fingers. He smiles as he watches you. What would that mean? Focus, so that we stay centered. That works. You both laugh, simply enjoying each other's company. It's hard to imagine you used to feel uncomfortable because of him. I'm gonna get a drink. I'll be right back. He gets up every so often to walk the room. You don't get those weird head pains as much anymore. Like you both aren't tethered with clouded minds. Sometimes it gets you wondering, when will it all go back to how it was? It's hard to remember how long you've both been in this comfort, as if it were a dream. You hope to never wake from it. He returns quickly. He still worries about losing you. Even with his concerns, it seems they weren't all that warranted. No matter how long he's gone for, you're both still here. You're still here. I have nowhere else to go. I don't get why it shocks you. I thought we'd be gone by now. Gone? He takes your hand in his fingers calloused. Your hand seems worn. You make the comment without much thought and he smiles. I play in a band, lead guitar. Really? Is that surprising? Most people ask me if I'm in a band. I kind of also thought that he was in a band. It's the first question after, are you single? I'm so sure you aren't just pulling my leg. He snickers, running his thumb on the back of your hand. I do play guitar. I'm serious about that. And about the rest? A secret. I hope I can play for you sometime. That would be nice. Cadmus leans to your hand and kisses it, like it's the most delicate thing in the world, to be with the being of your affections. Cadmus has really grown on you with the time you spent together. I sure hope so. I feel like we've been here in eternity. You know one day you'll both be happier. You're both happy right now, you're certain. But you will both be happier. So very soon. Your head suddenly starts pounding. Why does it hurt so much? You're trying to listen to him talk. His words fail to reach your ears. It hurts so badly. You can see the fear in his eyes, the panic. You shut your eyes, trying desperately to make it go away. It will go away, won't it? Darling, where did you go? Why did it take you from me? Wait, it took me from Cadmus because we were both happy. Oh, hell! I always knew you loved me, my dear. Alright, we are back at the Amnesia route, and we're going to try and get the bad ending. You aren't sure how long it's been since you fell unconscious. Feeling slightly off kilter, struggling to refocus, you notice Cadmus is still across from you, smiling. Good morning, little mouse. Now starting to worry you wouldn't wake up. You feel glad to see him. It's kind of reassuring for some reason. Okay. I wouldn't leave my darling behind. Oh, I'm simply charmed. I'm happy you wouldn't abandon me. To be without you would be devastating. You take the moment to get reoriented within the space. So you'll untie me. Untie you and lose you again. Nonsense, my dear. He returns to his seat. Why do you need to be anywhere else? I can take care of you right here. Okay, then we stay quiet. Not talkative. Despite his disappointment with your silence, he pulls himself together, as though what turmoil your silence brought him didn't exist. That's okay. I'm right here. He places his hand against your cheek, his grin wide as he stares intently at you. My beautiful dear, you are irreplaceable. Letting it linger there without him talking, you can pay attention to the way it feels. His hand is cold. Maybe he has bad blood flow. His entire hand feels like ice against your face. Cadmus pulls his hand away, shaking it off dramatically before letting it drop to his side. You should be far more wary than you are, don't you think? You don't even bother answering. It's clear enough he's just asking it, not expecting much of an answer. It's not like you really have much to give anyway, plus you can't even really avoid anything. You quite literally can't move. There is much time for you to consider your actions, my love. He smiles as he wipes his feet against the concrete floor. Or I suppose your words. Perhaps both. Wouldn't that be amusing? Why should I even play your game? Why so scared? He leans towards you, eyeing you curiously. Am I really? Oh, so frightening. I couldn't hurt a fly. You aren't scary. I'm not. Good. He leans back into his seat, his eyes still trained on you. I'd be worried if you were. We are partners after all. Communication is very important, darling. Says the one who hasn't told me anything, although I guess he is also being held hostage. You can't tell if he added the last part in as a joke. Given you both haven't spoken very much since you arrived. Given how cloudy your head is, you aren't exactly sure when it was that you even got here. A stark reminder of how wrapped up in his lies you are. Cadmus stands from his seat, walking just out of your view. Don't leave me. He plops himself down in the chair, if only for a moment. Silly mouse. I'm just stretching my legs. I'll be back shortly. Okay, and then we beg him to stay. I have to go, dear. I'll be back. No, don't leave me. You're no closer to understanding what his goal is, but even still, you are safe in some unexplainable way. He's looking after you. He isn't hurting you. He cares for you. He loves you. Cadmus comes into view on the other side of the room, just barely visible, and disappears back into the darkness just as quickly as he appeared. Trying to comprehend all this, it hurts your head. The pounding sensation returns. He hasn't tried to hurt you, the ropes aren't even tight. So why does your head hurt so much? It feels like something is eating away at you. I'm back, darling. He suddenly appears in front of you, the feeling in your head immediately vanishing. I hope you didn't miss me too much. You feel glad to see him, but everything feels so strange. He stands up, pacing just nearby, muttering to himself, nonsense you can't understand. What is he doing? He sits back down abruptly. Cadmus? Cadmus suddenly pulls out the knife. Whoa, hey! This has to end. You can't help but be afraid. The knife slashes through the ropes. He tosses the knife on the floor. I have to break it. That's the only way. He's muttering like he's lost his mind. The cycle has to break. It has to break. It's going to break. You don't want to stay around to find out what in the world he's mumbling about. With yourself free from the shackles, you shove him away, standing and running for the door. Like hell you're leaving. You feel him grab your shoulders from behind you. You can't move. God, why won't your legs move? Run! Run! Run, idiot! You feel his teeth dig into your neck and scream. your eyes shut from how horrible the pain is. He holds you firmly as he bites harder, your legs barely keeping you standing. All sensations fade away. We'll never be free from it, will we? Oh my god! That was so good! Oh, okay, so if you start the game again, he says, "It seems my plan failed, we're both still here." That's... okay, there's one more thing I really want to get. There is also a special ending for the care route. When he asks if you like him, say, "I don't." I don't. His face loses expression. Your words linger in the space just as the silence overtakes its place. What happened to his playfulness? He seemed like he was just gonna go with the punches. You want to try and say something, but every word is caught in your throat. His eyes stare daggers into you. It tickles the back of your head in a way that just fills you with pure fear. The silence stretches for longer than it should. His hand comes up to your face, nails digging into your cheeks. You catch a glint of the knife being pulled from his pocket. What is he doing? You can't move. Suddenly you feel the rope slip off you. The sound of the knife clattering to the floor. Cadmus forces your head up as he bares his teeth at you. I am such a sucker for sharp teeth. It's so hot. You scream as his teeth dig into the back of your neck. Whoa, Cadmus, this isn't Omegaverse. You can't just mark me on the back of my neck. The pounding in your head starts again. You can't focus at all, shutting your eyes, trying to forget the pain. You feel something wet against your shoulder as all sensation slips away. I'm doing this for you. Why won't you believe me? Yeah, Lover's Quarrel ending. Oh my god. And that is all 8 endings for Ouroboros Constricting Devotion. This is incredible. I love fourth wall breaking games, so fourth wall breaking elements in which like multiple loops has references to previous ones or awareness that there's a player character sitting behind the screen. I love stuff like that. I thought the plot was set out so well, although I really badly want to find out what it is and find out more about how we got here and what the story behind everything was. I still think it was such a satisfying and complete game to play. On one hand, while it's really nice to know everything about a game, I think in this case with the whole Ouroboros thing, it kind of sort of cements the fact that like you're never breaking out of the cycle, you're never going to find out what's actually going to happen, and you are going to be stuck here forever, which I feel like was so perfect. It's like that kind of sense of hopelessness that's amplified because you don't know what's going on. And if you just knew something, you could break the cycle. But you don't, so you're stuck here and you're repeating everything. This was so well made. I think Cadmus is such an intriguing character. I genuinely didn't expect it to take this route, but it really seems like either you two are both possessed, or you are possessed and he's staying here out of his love for you to help save you. He seems so tired. He definitely knows everything that's going on. He is aware of the looping, you aren't. And he just seems so tired at having like protected you for so long, and I feel so bad for him. This was incredible. Yeah, absolute compliments to the dev. I thought this was so well written. The premise was incredible. I had so much fun. And also to my lovely audience as well, if you guys enjoyed this, please leave me a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on the next video. And also, what are your theories about Cadmus? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear them. If you guys also want to hang out outside of videos, I stream on Twitch 3 times a week. Feel free to come over and hang out with me and my community. But that is all for now. I'm gonna get some sleep. I'll see you guys in the next video, and as always, take care.